Today we start by automating concrete with Create, and then we place a terrifying amount of TNT and light the fuse. Stay tuned for this episode. Welcome back. I started recording just a minute ago, and then I realized I wasn't recording my audio. But here we are. We're all set. I'll kind of run you through what we were doing here. Quick recap. We need a concrete making machine, which we'll put over here. For the concrete machine, we needed to make a bunch of mechanical crafters. So we got those made, and we're about to set those up. And then we were also going to touch on a bit of an issue we're having over here. I think some of our lines got a bit mixed up. So we're not producing everything we need for our reactor anymore. So we're going to deal with that in a moment. Right now, we're going to focus on our mechanical crafters to get crushing wheels set up for the concrete machine. All right, now for these, they have to be set up in a specific order. As we can see here, we need 3, 3, 3, 3, and then fill in the center. Assuming that we have enough room, maybe right here. So let's see. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. Oh, can I take that back? 1, 2, 3, and then 1 on the edges. Same thing up here. Boom, 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 doo doo, doo. And then lastly, at the very top, we put 3 like that. Now with these, they all have to connect and point to a single output. So we can have everything go in to start, and these can go up, up, and then we'll have everything move and have this be our singular output. So everything should come together in the middle, and it'll all get joined on this line and output here. Now for this, we are going to need a bunch of andesite alloy with planks and some sort of stone, probably like cobblestone. We're going to fill it out like so. So we get those on the edges. And then I think they go on the corners. Or wait. No, this needs to be andesite alloy on the outside, not planks. Okay, the alloy goes around the edges and the centers like so. Yes, and then the planks go like that, and our cobble in the center. That should be the recipe that we need. And then we just need to give this power. So with this, we should be able to bring power over here. So we'll say power comes in right there, except you need to be rotated like that. Thank you. And we'll just pull it from here. And there we go. That gets powered. Everything comes together. And it broke. Okay. What did we do wrong here? Okay. Let's try this again. And success. Yes. Okay, perfect. Crushing wheels. And maybe we'll just do that again. You know, maybe we'll need more of those in the future. Might as well have them on hand if we do. Okay, perfect. Now we have 4 crushing wheels. Step 1 complete. Okay, so next up we're going to take a little detour here, and we're going to deal with an issue that we're having in our factory, which is, you can see that we have a backlog of this sulfur dust, which is good. So things will keep running on this side. But if we go back to where the sulfur dust is coming from, we can see that nothing is happening here. And why is that? One is partly because we need to put more cobble in there. But another issue is that our brine is like empty. And this is full of water. This is supposed to be pulling brine into this machine, and it's also supposed to be sending it over to our secondary one where our brine gets turned into, I forget what that yellow stuff is. But it's filled with water, not brine. And that's because they ended up getting connected with this water line, this purple one, which is supposed to be going just straight into our reactor. So we just need to redo a bit of this. So we will want to take out all these lines that are full of water. Okay, like so. And then we'll go back over here and we'll break the lines here. Don't want any water. And we'll bring you like so. And there we go. And that is not right either. Let's start with you like that. And we can say push. So we don't want to pull from that. We only want brine going in. So those are all connected up again. And then we just got to reattach it over here. So we'll say you come this way. Boom, boom. There we go. Brine. That is what we wanted. So that part is fixed now. We also are just going to want to grab some cobblestone. I don't know, a couple stacks, and we'll toss it into our thing here. And that is all fixed. So, perfect. That portion of the issue is solved. We're good here. Good here. Perfect. Okay, so now moving back to our concrete making machine. Okay, so under here is where we're going to put it. We needed our crushing wheels, which we got. We're also going to need to make kind of like a basic, like a cobblestone generator. So lava, water, and then the like drills from Create. So essentially we're going to create cobblestone. It's going to get crushed. I think we need 2 lines of that, one for gravel and one for sand. And then we have to combine it with all of our black dye here. We're also going to need to do something about this dang, like, fragments. They're kind of annoying. And to be honest, I don't really want to build, like, a whole convoluted thing to recraft these into charcoal and send them back through. So I think the easiest option is just going to be to dispose of them. And it doesn't really matter because we're creating infinite charcoal. So we don't really have to be concerned about wasting resources. So we'll set up something for that in a minute. But for now, I'm going to get started on the cobblestone generator. And I think I mentioned this in the last video or maybe the one before that, but I'm going to follow a tutorial for this just so I don't waste a bunch of time trying to figure it out myself. And then I know that it'll work. Because if I tried to build it, tons would go wrong, I'm almost sure of. But I will link that video that, wow, that whale is coming in. Look how big you are, buddy. Go back out to sea. You don't really want to come this far inland. But anyways, I will link the video that I use as a guide in the description of this video. So if you want to build it for yourself, you can. And then you'll also know, where I got the idea from, credit where credit's due. So I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit here. And I'll check in once we have like the sections of the machine built. So like cobblestone generator, and then the crushing section, and then whatever's next. So I'll check in along the way. But I'll get started on that, and I'll see you in just a moment. All right, just checking in real quick with you guys here. I've got a chest with all of the necessary materials for our farm, and the video that I'm, or like the tutorial video that I'm watching is by a creator of the name Tyra Lore. And so her video will be linked in the description, but that is the video that I'm watching. we will continue with building this up, and I'll keep checking in. See you soon. Okay, so making a little bit of progress here. I figured I'd bring you in to show you what's going on. I'm slightly concerned that, well, I think this might be as high as it needs to be. Not quite sure yet, but we're getting close to our building up here. But anyways, we have two belts coming out, right? And so up here, we've got chutes connected to millstones. On the inside, we have drills pointing in here. So we're just going to go ahead and close those up. And that'll be so we can form the cobble. And then these guys will be able to break it. And the cobble will break, go into the millstones, and get ground down, come out here. And then we have two brass tunnels. So we're essentially going to split the output of this machine onto these cables or onto these belts. So that's where we're at right now. I'll keep checking in here as we make more progress, but things are going smoothly so far. Okay, I'm back again. Made a little bit more progress, so let me show you where we're at here. So we went over our concrete generator. It's going to make cobblestone. It's going to get milled down into gravel, I believe. Gravel is going to be split between these two belts. One side is going to get crushed, one side won't be crushed. So then we'll be producing sand after crushing. Both sand and gravel will get conjoined into our basin, which will then get mixed. And then it'll come out this side and it's going to get washed. So you can see we've got a water wheel down here and an encased fan. Just close that off. And then it's going to be getting washed right here and turning into concrete. We are also, this chest back here is going to be where our dye goes. This will be the dye input, and this will just be making concrete automatically for us. So we are pretty close to being all set up and ready to go here. I just got to power everything, and we should be ready after that, but I'll be right back. All right, so we're getting pretty close here. Looks like everything's mostly hooked up. So over here, I made a big old windmill, just kind of poking out the side here to power it. And we can see it's attached up there. It comes down the side and into this clutch, so we can turn it on and off. And that clutch is going to be attached to this cogwheel. And right beneath it, we're going to be putting a rotational speed controller, which we don't have. And I'm pretty sure we have to make with like a create machine. I don't think it's something we can just like craft in a crafting table. So let's look into that real quick. Yes, so we need this precision mechanism, which basically consists of a golden plate getting smashed with a cogwheel, then getting smashed with a large cogwheel, and then getting smashed with an iron nugget. And it has to be repeated 5 times. And then there's an 80% chance to make one, or a 20% chance that it doesn't work at all. I wonder if we can set this up easily or not. So let's look at deployers real quick. Maybe we have some already, and that should be good for now. So we're going to head over to the workshop and set this up. Here we are. Now, where's going to be a good place to put this? I don't know why all this dirt is right here. Maybe I don't know what I was thinking. But maybe we can kind of set it up right here and just steal power off of that. So if we say depot, we're going to want to, I guess we can do it manually. So whatever. That's what I wanted. Boom, boom. So then they're all connected. So we just need power right there. So that should be pretty simple. One more gearbox right there. Everything should be powered. Maybe this one should also be a vertical. Okay, so next we need cogwheels. Handful of large cogwheels. And then the last step was something. Iron nugget, maybe? Let's double check. Precision mechanism. Yes, iron nugget. So if I say, you do small, you do large, you do iron nuggets. Nothing is happening still. Maybe we need to do shoots. Get iron nuggets. So if we just put iron nuggets into that one, and in this one we put large cogwheels, and in this one we put small cogwheels. Okay, now if we take our brass sheet, it's not gonna go. Wait, it's not brass, right? Okay, that did something. They're not moving anymore, but okay, then maybe it is moving. And we just rinse and repeat. And you can see when we pick it up at the bottom in our taskbar, it's got like a completion thing. I think this might be our last round. And it failed. Dang. Okay, well, we try again then. Okay, this is either the last round or... Did it work? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, I'll try again. All right, here we go. Please work. There we go. Precision mechanism. So failed 2 times in a row, which for a 20% chance, I guess that's not impossible, but still stinks that we had to do it twice. But we got what we needed. Now with our precision mechanism, we can make our, I think it was rotational speed controller. It is what we were after, so that's just brass casing. So if we get our brass casing and our precision mechanism, there we go. And if you don't know what this does, this is actually going to allow us, so we're plugging essentially directly into our power line here, right? And that's going to hook up to that. And we're essentially going to be able to control how fast our speed goes and which direction it's spinning, which is super nice. So even if we're not producing like maximum power, this essentially like augments it for us, and it's actually connected into our machine right here, and we'll be able to control how fast everything spins with this. So that is perfect. We'll still need to glue everything together, but we're so close. I can almost taste it. All right, so we've just got our glue out here and we've glued everything together. I'm going to take down this tree. It's kind of in our way. And then according to the video that I'm watching, we wanted these mechanical drills to be going a little bit slower than the rest. Otherwise it'll get kind of clogged up. So what we did was we extended some of our power that's connecting to the millstones out and slowed it down by connecting this big cogwheel. That then got connected up with encased chain drives to these smaller ones, which are powering all of the drills. And then over here, we powered our mixer just by chaining together a bunch of the small cogwheels. So I think we're about ready to do a test here to make sure everything turns on, but we just click this. Everything is spinning in the wrong direction. Everything is spinning in the wrong direction. So that could be an easy fix if we just grab this, switch it down here, and 46. Okay, that's as fast as we can go. But it switches the direction, everything is spinning, and that is all looking good. So I think it's actually all set. We could get it going faster if we added more sails to this. We don't necessarily need to right now, but I think all that's left is to put some lava in up here, and then we should be good. I'm going to power this off for a moment, and we'll get working on that. Okay, so we don't have any lava on hand, but I know where we can get some. There we are, Lava Central. And we can just jump on down. And I brought a handful of buckets here, so we should be good to just grab a bunch. And we can go on back. Okay. So all that's left for us to do is just jump up here and stick our lava in. We had just enough space. So supposedly we can just do this. And cobbles. I heard some cobble going. And yep, looks like all the cobble's getting formed, so perfect. And we'll just flip this back on once we're ready. We're going to want to input our dies into here. So that brings us to our next project. Let me do a little inventory cleanup. Okay, so essentially from here, we're going to say that we want to need a list filter. Actually, we don't even need a list filter. So we can just say charcoal fragments. We want these to come out. Oh, okay, just going to pour it all out, sure. And with our lava bucket, we can just kind of put it right there. And everything can essentially just get burned. So as we turn that off, we should start to see it is going through and the extra stuff should be getting burnt. Perfect. And all of our extra fragments should be getting pushed out of here and burned as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to put up a little safety thing around here. Say, there we go. Okay. Whew. So that's taken care of. Now we can get another brass funnel and we'll have it come out here. And we're going to grab one of our black dies, put that as the filter. And I'm not going to switch it around yet, otherwise everything's going to dump out. But essentially we just need to input it up over here. And this might line up nicely. So I'd really like to just have it come down to like right there. But it doesn't seem to want to do that. What if I do that? Oh, okay, perfect. And you go there. We'll put a block right here. We do something like that. That'll be fine. But we need these to switch belts, which we can maybe do with one of these things. What are these called? A brass tunnel. And we put you right there. That'll start spinning the correct direction. And then we just need 2, 3. And those will go the right way. And then they go into there, which goes into there. And we turn on this. Put the rest of our die in there. And nothing should pop out because it can't. And we have sand and gravel. They're all going into here. And it's set to make concrete powder. Yep, and there it is, getting washed. And then black concrete goes into there. Woo! We did it. Okay, awesome. That worked. Oh god. Oh god. No, 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 no. Okay, we need some stone here. Whew. Okay. Hopefully that is gonna stop the fire from spreading. Whew. Okay, that scared me for a second. Let me just come up here to make sure nothing bad is happening. Everyone okay? Seems like it. Good. There we go. We had just enough room underneath our thing here. And that is pretty awesome. I mean, we've got a create tree farm going into a create charcoal farm. The charcoal farm is going, or is making a black dye farm, rather. Black dye is going into our concrete farm, which connects with our cobblestone farm. And it just all works together. I mean, look at that. We almost have a stack of black concrete already. So awesome. That is super exciting. Really, really good progress on that. So thank you once again, Tyra Lore, for the video on how to make this machine. It definitely came in handy for me. Ooh, okay, next we're going to want to think about what other farms we might need for our project. Okay, so next I think we are going to take a little break from our bigger farms, and I'm actually going to do a handful of just manual crafting. I basically want to build a ton of TNT. That's going to be for that platform right above my head in the distance. For TNT, we need gunpowder and sand. We know how to get sand, so we could siphon off siphon some off of our machine over here if we wanted to. I don't know that we want to go through all that trouble for what we're gonna do slash need. So we actually have gunpowder being made up here already. And all this should work pretty quick with the upgrades that we have on here. A little bit of inventory cleanup. So our cobblestone is getting turned into gravel. Gravel's getting enriched into flint. Flint is getting turned into gunpowder. And we already have 10. So perfect. We'll let that run. We're going to go to our nearest sand patch, which looks like we have some just at the end of our little island here. All right, so here's a whole bunch of sand. We'll just grab a whole bunch. I'm not really sure exactly how much we're gonna need, but we're gonna want a decent amount of TNT. I'm thinking maybe like 4 or 5 stacks, which sounds excessive, but yeah, I think that's gonna be what we end up needing, or close to it anyways. That's probably enough sand, and we'll head on back. Then we can check in on how our gunpowder is doing. We have 30 stacks of or 30, not 30 stacks, 30 pieces of gunpowder. So we'll definitely need more, but we'll put this away for now. Hey, there we go. And there is a lot of blocks for us. Okay, so this is all doing its thing. How are we doing over here? We're doing okay. Not the fastest thing in the world, but it is automatic. So I think we have plenty of shears up there, so that's good. We may as well farm our potatoes. Just some general housekeeping things. I'll just go ahead and bring you guys back in once we're ready to make all the TNT. All right, so we have almost a full another stack of TNT to work with. So let's fly on over here. And yeah, I think this is going to be nice. We'll just kind of fill in a couple of the missing gaps. This is going to be one heck of an explosion. Maybe you can get a little bit more dense towards the center of everything. All right. That's a lot of TNT. And now we know what comes next. We'll wait for the sun to rise so we can get a good shot here. But this is going to be pretty sweet, I think. Okay, the sun has risen. And we have a huge sort of a circle of... We have a huge circle of TNT. And we're going to blow it up. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and light a bunch of this as fast as we can. Ooh, boy. This is a lot. Okay, here we go. Let's see what that does for us. Oh, yeah. It went everywhere. But that's perfect. And now we get to do it again. But there we go. Now we just get to keep crafting up TNT, and we can keep making this hole deeper. And we're going to kind of taper in as we go down. I mentioned before I wanted it to look kind of like these like meteor craters. So we're going to excavate with the TNT, and then we'll go back through and do any sort of like spicing up that we need to. But we're really not going to see too much in there, so I'm not going to get too crazy, but definitely some magma blocks and just a general like randomness of the like explosions like we have here. That is going to be what I have time for today. I really appreciate you guys watching, and look forward to next week's episode where we'll continue with our excavating here behind us. I will also double check what other farms we need to make. I think we have the main ones down, which is going to be wool and concrete. So don't have to worry about those anymore. I know we need a lot of cobblestone, and we're also going to need lots of the, whatever the dark stuff is called, deep slate. Also need lots of deep slate. But that's going to be easy enough with our digital miner. So thanks so much again for watching. I will see you guys next week, And if you liked this video, don't forget to like. And if you want to see more like this, don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you think of our project so far in the comments below. Thanks. We'll see you next time.